Welcome, everyone. Okay, really sweet story. So yesterday, Alfie and I were going on one of our many walks because we take many walks every day. And we see this older man with 3 clearly rescue mutt dogs. So cute, walking these 3 big dogs. And Alfie runs across to say hi to the dogs. Yee, yee. That's his happy noise. Yee. And then he grabs one of the leashes and looks at the man as if to say, "May I please walk your dog?" And the man just looks down and was like, "Sure." And we went, the 3 of us and the 3 dogs went on this 40-minute walk, and it was amazing. Alfie was so good with this one dog. And every time the dog wanted to stop and sniff or pee or, just sniff the plants, Alfie would wait and made sure he was with the rest of his pack. And Alfie was just in heaven this entire time. And I just kept thanking the man. I said, "Thank you so much for giving Alfie this experience." And he said, "Oh yeah." He said, "I have a lot of autism in my family. I totally get it. And he is doing so well with this dog." And then we started just chatting. And he tells me he's been in the neighborhood for nearly 40 years. Turns out he's Elton John's keyboardist. And he's been in Elton John's band for decades, traveling around the world with Elton John. And I'm just like, that's the coolest job ever. And he's like, "Yeah, it's incredible." And then I was telling him that I'm a comedian and that I'm now just starting to prepare to go on tour myself. And then he was giving me all this advice about what that entails and to just like stay really grounded. And it was just the most amazing experience. And he was such a lovely, lovely man. He lives with his wife in the same neighborhood as me for 35 years. In fact, in the home I'm in now, there was a very famous musician that lived here, and where I'm sitting right now was a recording studio, and he would come here in the 1970s to record and play. And it was just so wild. And Alfie was in heaven to the point where I'm now reconsidering getting a dog. Remember, I was worried about the added responsibility of bringing an animal, and I didn't know if he was ready. But after yesterday, I'm just like, okay, they're going to be 5 and 7 in the next 2 months. I cannot believe it. So I think it's time. But it was just so cool. And just shout out to you guys if you see a kid who's different, and you're kind and patient with them, and you include them. Like, He didn't have to include us. He didn't have to allow Alfie to walk his dog for over a mile. He didn't have to do that. Like, he could have just kept walking by, but he allowed Alfie. He was patient with Alfie. He understood, and he showed such compassion. And it just means everything, you guys. I told you about when Alfie ran off. This must have been over a month ago now. And a woman helped me get him, and we cried together because this woman has an autistic adult who said that her son used to elope and run off too. And it's terrifying, and just, it just means the world, So just shout out to all you lovely people who show these kids patience and grace and inclusion. Thank you to Skims for sponsoring today's episode of Idiot. Okay, guys, I have to tell you something that genuinely changed my life. And I know I say that a lot, but I mean it this time. The Fits Everybody collection from Skims. I used to dread wearing a bra. By noon, I was that woman unhooking through her shirt in the parking lot. Very elegant, I know. But then I tried the Fits Everybody Scoop bralette, and I, honest to God, forgot I was wearing it! I love Skims Fits Everybody because it feels like I'm wearing nothing, but the sexy, supportive version of nothing. The fabric just melts into my skin, and I'm replacing every single bra I own. Every single one. Shop the Fits Everybody collection at skims.com/idiot. After you order, when they ask how you heard about us, select podcast and then select idiot in the dropdown. Go right now. Go. Skims.com/idiot. I'm reading and learning so much about the inclusion models in schools and I'm curious your thoughts on inclusion models in schools, because my son, who's on the spectrum, has been nothing but segregated since 3 years old. I would go to multiple different types of preschools where he was rejected. No, sorry, we cannot. He cannot. And I said, well, what if he gets an A? No, sorry. Montessori schools too, which have a lot of roots in special education, I believe. Maria Montessori first designed her model for special needs kids. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's my understanding. And he was rejected from those schools. And then he joins a PALS program, which is a special ed program, which is wonderful in many ways, but it's also segregating them. It's, 6 or 7 other nonverbal kids on the spectrum, right? There's no inclusion there. And it's been devastating. And, there's all these studies that say if kids are integrated and included amongst typically developing peers, gifted peers, however you want to call them, that they're way more likely to integrate in society as adults. But if they're segregated their entire education, they're way more likely to be segregated as adults. And it's very sad to me, but I want to know your thoughts on inclusion models and what, if you have a kid who has special needs, are they integrated? Are they included in class with typically developing peers, or are they in their own class? Do you prefer that they're in their own class? Because I'm not saying it's all bad. I'm not saying one is bad, one is good. It could be like one model works for some kids, one model works for another. I'm just super interested in the inclusion model, and it makes a lot of sense to me. And I see the way my son is around, when he is around talkative little kids, even like Poppy, how much he's learned from my daughter. So anyway, I want your thoughts. What else is going on? So, I think I'm going to go celibate for like a year. What do you think? Has anyone gone celibate before? Has anyone not put their pole in the hole for an entire year, or their hole in a pole for the entire year, or their hole in a hole for the entire year, or their pole on another pole? That's not how that works, but you know what I mean. Celibacy. There's this one viral clip from the 80s that it's like my favorite vocal stim right now. And the guy goes to the teacher, it's like a Christian clip. And he's like, what if I want to have sex before I'm married? And the teacher goes, well, Daryl, I guess you'll just have to be prepared to die. And I just can't get that clip out of my head. What if I want to have sex before I get married? Well, Daryl, I guess you're going to have to be prepared to die. That must have been so traumatizing for these kids. Wild. Absolutely wild. But yeah, so celibacy for a year. I'm thinking 1 year. What do we think? Have you done it? How was it? How did it feel? I guess it could be like going to the gym, if you get in the habit of, if you're in the habit of not banging, then I would think it would be easier to not bang. Like if I stop going to the gym, I don't want to go to the gym. I don't think about going to the gym. If I go to the gym, I start wanting to go to the gym. I start kind of craving it. If you're banging, you kind of want to bang more because you're banging regularly. So then you want to bang more. And I would think not banging would have the same effect. You'd want to stop banging. You would not be thinking about banging if you're not banging, or you think about banging all the time because you're not banging. I feel like men who aren't banging, thinking about banging all the time. Women, maybe if we're not banging, we're not thinking about banging because we're not banging. But maybe I'm wrong. Do you guys think about banging when you're banging, or do you think about banging more when you're not banging? I'm not thinking about banging, really. I don't really need to bang. I haven't banged in over a month and I'm fine. I'm literally fine. But then I have another question about celibacy, and that is, can you diddle the skittle if you're celibate? I suppose you can make your own rules, but are you allowed to unbutton your fur coat, if you will? Are you allowed to paddle that pink canoe if you're celibate? I suppose you can make your own rules. I could Google the definition of celibacy. I'm pretty sure it just means no sex. Can you finger bang if you're celibate? No, I don't think so. That's still a form of banging. Fuck. Shout out to my mom if she's watching this. Hey, Mom. Okay, what else is going on? I don't have dementia. I'm so dramatic, you guys. I'm so dramatic. I came to you last week going, I can't think straight. I had a cold. That's all it was. That's how dramatic I am. I have a cold and I'm like, this is it. I've got early onset dementia. I'm toast. I've got 3 to 5 years left. No, I had a cold. Looking back, my friend and her little kids came over. I said, what's up with your kids? Sounds like they have croup cough. She goes, no, they're fine. I said, they're fine. They don't sound fine. She goes, no, my mom said they were fine. I said, your mom said your kids were fine? Meanwhile, their little kids. I said, your mom said they were fine? Yeah, my mom. I said, your mom's in town? She goes, no, I called her. I told her about them and she said they were fine. What does that even mean? Next day, I'm feeling a little lightheaded. I think I've got the case of the dementia. The next day rolls around, I'm feeling even loopier. Only this time my nose is running. And I've got a sore throat. It's not dementia at all. It's a cold. And my kids were sick too. They didn't go to school for the last 3 days. We all had it. I want to talk about this because, and it's not that I have not brought my kids out sick. Okay. I'm not trying to throw my friend under the bus. I love my friend. She's my best friend in the entire world. I love her. And that's why I give her shit. But I've done the same shit. I mean, literally, I did something worse. I was a full-on super spreader at one kid's party. Full-on super spreader. I went to a kid's birthday party and I thought my daughter was better from hand, foot, mouth. She wasn't. I thought she was. She had no more lesions or whatever the fuck. It's a gnarly disease, or it's not a disease. It's what is it? Hand, foot, mouth disease. No, it's a disease. Disgusting one. And she was like better, I thought. But apparently it can linger for like a long time. So though I thought she had been better for a few weeks, turns out she wasn't. And I chucked her ass right in the ball pit with the other kids. And then I get the call from my friends. Yeah, Susie's got hand, foot, mouth now. And I'm like, what? What? No way. That sucks. How'd she get that? She was like, from your daughter. You. And I was like, oh, shit. So, it happens. We all do it. And then like kids are just coughing all the time. So how do you know when they're sick or they just have this like lingering, kids just cough. So if you just kept a kid home every time he coughed, the kid would never see the sunlight. He would never see the light of day because kids be coughing. Kids be sick and then kids be better and then kids still be coughing. Kids cough for the cough of it. They're not even sick sometimes. So I get the confusion. But then there's sick cough when it's all wet and gross and they're all snotty. That's a sick cough. And don't even get me started on the allergy versus sick. Oh man. Someone will be sitting next to me. I said, oh no, you're sick. They go, allergies. How do you know? Oh, I know. This is allergies. This is allergies. Is it, Samantha? Did you go to an allergy specialist? Did you get a test? No. No, but I've had these. It comes around when I'm outside near pollen. We're inside right now, Samantha. I swear. And then 2 days later, I'm coughing because of her allergies. Suck my dick, Samantha. This was not about an actual Samantha, but I did have a Samantha in first grade who was a bully, and she used to steal my lunch. She would come up to me. She was half my size. I was a very tall, lanky kid. She would come up to me, little bully Samantha, and she'd take my food. She'd take my snacks and walk away. So suck my dick, Samantha. That Samantha. If you're watching this, I will never forget. Never forget that. I'm not going to say your last name because I don't want you to get completely canceled and fired by your boss for stealing my fruit roll-ups, but I'll never forget it. But I think you had a hard home life. I really do. I think your parents were mean, and I think you were probably treating me the way that they treated you. So also I'm sending you love and healing, Samantha, and I wish you well and happiness. I wish you so much love and hugs and kisses, and I wish you all the love in the world because you deserve to be loved. And I don't think you were, but also suck my and dick. But also sending love. Okay, pause. Thank you to Skims for making this episode possible. I genuinely mean it because I've been wearing the Fits Everybody collection and I need everybody to know. Here's my pain point history with intimates. I have small titties, a small chest, okay? Little mosquito bites. I run around all day chasing a child and general mayhem, and most bras either gape or strangle. No in between. And then I found Fits Everybody Scoop Bralette. And I'm not being dramatic. It was like someone made a bra specifically for my body. I love Skims Fits Everybody because it's the first time comfort and actually looking cute are happening simultaneously. That should not be a radical concept, but apparently it is. Shop the Fits Everybody collection at skims.com/idiot. After your order, select podcast in the survey and then select idiot in the dropdown. That's how they know we sent you. Skims.com/idiot. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled idiocy. So anyway, I am so proud of my sister, you guys. I can't even tell you. I'm so proud of her. I cried all morning because ever since I was a little girl, my sister's been writing songs, singing songs. We used to write songs together. And she plays guitar, piano, and sings. And I sort of sing. I would mainly do her harmonies for her. But I was the clown, right? So I was always making her laugh, writing plays, filming horror films. And she was writing the music. We would make musicals too. She was writing music and writing songs ever since we were little girls. And she's been singing to me since I was a little girl. And she's been writing music for decades, but she never releases them. She's very introverted. And, she lives on this farm in this small town in Oregon, and she grows her own food, and she's the best mother in the entire world and just the most amazing woman. And if you've read my book, Idiot, she saved my life. She moved out here. I was 17, almost 18 years old. I lived in Los Angeles by myself. I was in a relationship with an extraordinarily abusive drug dealer who physically, verbally abused me. And I would call her terrified. And she came out to LA. She got me away from him. He went to jail, and she and I lived together out here. And she helped support me. She believed in me. She helped support my dreams. She tried to get me sober many times. Though sadly, addicts only get sober when they want to. So it took what it took. But she was there for me and saved my life countless amounts of times. And I just owe her everything. But anyway, she was always this brilliant songwriter. Her name is Colleen Clary. And she's my best friend. And we were always just so close. And she finally released her music, you guys. You can listen to her music. And she sent it to me last night. She texted me. She goes, Laura, I did it. Because I have hounded her for years and years to release it. And this is not like, here's what I love about Colleen. she didn't even put her face on. She is so beautiful, you guys. She's just this stunning auburn-haired beauty. And she didn't even put her face on her album cover because she is just the least shallow person I've ever met in my entire life and really has no desire to be famous at all. She's just an artist who makes art, and she's always made art. And she finds so much joy in writing, in her poetry, in her lyrics, in her melodies, in her rhythm, in her production. She finds so much joy in just making music that she was satisfied to just do it and not release it. But then I'm just like, you're also robbing the world of hearing you, because like I get to hear you, but nobody else does. And I want other people to. And she texted me yesterday and she says, I did it. And she just called me and she goes, for many years, she was friends with these massive musicians. Her ex-boyfriend is even producer, Nigel Godrich, the producer of Radiohead. And so she was just like surrounded by these like world-class, incredible musicians all the time. And she said, I was always very intimidated being around these brilliant musicians. And I was always worried that they wouldn't think my music was cool enough, or that I couldn't express myself fully because I was scared of being judged. This was her in her 20s and 30s. And she just said, she moved away to Oregon and, she's married this wonderful man. She has 3 incredible children. And she's truly like the most amazing mother ever in person. I know, she's so amazing. And she just said, I just finally stopped caring what people thought. Like, I really don't. Like, I want to make happy music that feels good. I don't care if it's trending or this or that. Like, this is what came through. And I want to play you some of it now because it's so awesome. And okay, this song really got me. It's called Good Kids, but she's released 4. One is a cover called Careless Love, and the other 3 are original songs. One's called Living Like a Boomer, which is hilarious, and so well done. One's called What's It All About? One's called Good Kids, and then Careless Love is the cover. But this is Good Kids, and this one I just think is so incredible. But they all are. And I really hope you'll go to Apple Music, Spotify, wherever, and listen to her music, because this is what I've been hearing forever. But now you guys get to hear it too.
Sit up straight, they know the answers. Raise their hands before you ask. They learned it all from someone's father, and they learned it really fast. They know which kids belong here, and they know which kids do not. They smile like hall monitors while they sharpen every thought, and they're so sure. God, they're so sure it's right. Good kids, know the pledge, know the lie. Good kids, everyone falls in line. Good kids, don't ask where they heard it. Good kids, they just repeat it perfect. The earth is 6,000 years old, the ice was always fine. The bones don't mean a thing to them, and neither does the vine. They laugh a little louder now when someone gets it wrong. Wrong being showed your homework wrong. Being don't belong. The teacher pauses and moves on. Survival of the fit. Funny how the ones who don't believe it are the best at practicing it, and they're so proud of what they'll say. Good kids, sharp enough to stay. Good kids, don't question it.
Okay, so that's Good Kids. And then let's listen to a little bit of one more. I don't know what we can use and what we can't, you guys. I don't think she'll claim me for using this. I think she'll let this slide.
He's got the keys to several doors and time zones he forgets. The car's a weekend kind of thing, the kind you don't regret. The reservations know his name. The jacket fits just right. He takes a photo, doesn't post it, puts his phone away at night. And everyone agrees he's done it perfectly. So what's it all about? What's it all about? God, prove you shout. She's beautiful, she's there, she laughs at almost everything. He watches.
So good, Colleen. You know, there's like a Feist element. I don't know. When I first heard it, I was like, this reminds me of Feist. Do you guys remember Feist? There's just like a similar tone. I played it for my friend for a second. I was like, do you know who this is? Because I was just curious. And they were like, Lily Allen? I was like, no, but I love Lily Allen. Anyway, go listen to her music. Colleen Clary is her name. And yeah, she's finally putting it out in the world. I'm so proud of her. Oh my God. Okay, so that's what's going on. Let's see what else I want to chat with you guys about. Any moms of autistic kids, what is your experience like with the regional center and getting services? Because I am struggling. I am struggling to get my son services. It feels like I found this music therapy that is covered by regional center, yet I cannot get them to cover it. I tried to get him one-on-one rock climbing, and that's been months. Certain therapies are nearly impossible. I then got in touch with an advocate, like a lot of you told me to do. And she's like, you need to redo this whole IEP. And it's like, oh my gosh, it's just such a headache to actually get your kid with disability services. And then I find I'm paying out of pocket. Like my speech therapist, I'm not kidding you. I paid her $250 for 45 minutes because she's one of the only people I could find that's a Gestalt language processor, which is how my son processes language. Tell me why I can't find that covered by insurance. I'm already paying nearly $2,000 of insurance to insure me and my kids, which is so expensive because I work for myself. And then to have these therapists not be covered is just complete insanity. So I want to know if you guys have any tips and tricks on how to get your kids services, because I'm like about to sue these. I'm pulling my hair out about it. But I want to know that. But then in other news, I found that my son, who I was like really worried about, there were some behavioral issues. Like I got a call last week from the principal. I get the craziest calls about my son who's 6 and on the spectrum. I get a call. Hi, Laura. It's Miss B here. I said, hi. She goes, yeah, Alfie just threw his Crocs on the roof and no one can get him down. So can you come bring him some new shoes, please? He's in the nurse's office. I said, yes, thank you so much for letting me know that. I said, I have a few Crocs on my roof too. She didn't laugh. But I do think it's not just that he likes to throw shoes on the roof, because he loves to do that. I mean, it is fun. Have you guys tried throwing shoes on roofs? It is a blast. It's a grand old time. But they said they found a little cut on his foot. And I think the Crocs were hurting his foot. And so because he's not at that point where he can go, my foot hurts, I have a cut, and these shoes hurt my foot, or these shoes really hurt my foot, the way he's going to tell them that the shoes hurt his foot is he's going to chuck them on the roof. Smart. Very smart. So that's what's going on there. Oh, and then we talked about sassy, almost 5-year-olds. My daughter's been very, very sassy lately, and it makes me sad. She's amazing, and I love her so much in every way. But do any of your kids kind of low-key bully you sometimes? I thought this started when they were teenagers. Literally, she's like, bullies me sometimes. She'll be like, what are you wearing? I said, that's not nice. I said, that doesn't make me feel good. And then she goes, oh, I'm sorry. But the instinct is to be like, ew. And then she'll just like walk by me and be like, you smell. Oh my God. Do I? And I'll have showered. So is it just my scent that she hates? And then we were out the other day and I picked out a dress. I go, Poppy, what do you think? She goes, ew, ew. And it's like, all right, dude, cool, not your thing. I bought her a leotard because she started ballet jazz class. I bought her a few and she liked most of them. But one of them, she goes, oh God, no, ew, return it. I said, well, that's not very nice. You could say, oh, no, thank you. It's not my taste. But that can be hurtful. And she's like, ugh. And I said, and then I got like a little petty and I was like, okay, cool. I was like, you don't like it? I'll give it to your best friend, Frankie. She's going to love it. No. Well, why don't you want Frankie to have it? You think it's so ugly. I think Frankie would love it. And she's like, no, return it. It's not for her. She would hate it. So I don't know what is going on. I feel like the older kids at school might be influencing her to be a little bratty or something because I don't know where it's coming from. But I just say, hey, that hurts my feelings. That's not nice. How would you feel if I told you you stink and your outfit sucks? She goes, I wouldn't care. I go, I think you would. I think it might hurt. So it's important to be gentle with people's hearts. But I'm just wondering, dude, is this a phase or is she being influenced by someone at school? I don't know what's going on, but I've had to hold back tears several times. And I don't know if anyone else relates to that. But I guess that's kind of all I have for this week's episode of my little rants. I'm going celibate. I'm struggling with the regional center to get my kids services. Tell me your tips, tricks, and secrets. What is your stance? Oh, I never finished this thought. If you have a kid who's coughing, are you going to take him to the park? Do you wait? What is your rule there? Kids are coughing all the time. If it's green coming out, do you keep them home? But if it's clear snot coming out, do you take them out? What are you doing? How you doing that? Do you believe your kid when they say I'm sick? You take the temperature. If it's 99, you keep them home. What are your rules? I need your rules. Ugh. All right. That's it. That's all I got. Life is good. I feel really good. Oh, and I guess we can end here. I would love a gratitude list from you guys. Can you do me a favor and in the comments, really do this. Give me 5 things you're grateful for because it is literally impossible to be pissed off and grateful at the same time. So 5 things you're grateful for right now, please, in the comments. Let's focus on what's going right because this world is a hellscape right now. The world is run by literal pedos. Let's focus on what's going right. Can we? 5 things you're grateful for, please. Tell me in the comments. I'll tell you right now, I'm grateful for the sun. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for my sobriety. I'm grateful for my health. I'm grateful for my friends. I'm grateful for the trees. I'm grateful for coffee. I'm grateful for chocolate. I'm grateful for avocado toast. I'm grateful for my mom. I'm grateful for my dad. I'm grateful for my sister. I'm grateful for my sister's music. I'm grateful for my producers. I'm grateful for my fans. I'm grateful for my creativity. I'm grateful for my sense of humor. I'm grateful that my brain works. I'm grateful for books. I'm grateful. Oh my God, look at that. I feel so full and whole. And then I'm also grateful because I'm writing a live show and I'm going to get to meet you guys. So I'm also grateful for that. Literally, I'm going to workshop my show. I'm doing like 10-minute chunks around town and I'm going to build my hour and go perform around the world. And I'm so excited to finally meet you guys. So also tell me where you're from in the comments below so I can come see you at your city. All right, bye.